Well, good morning. I am kind of pleased to come to you this morning. I look a lot different. My hair is very, very short. I'm unshaved. I have my glasses on rather than my contacts and my sweatshirt. But I decided that, you know what, I've lost a couple of months. I'm going to come to you today just to encourage you. And I want to tell you that how much I appreciate everyone's encouragement to me. Many of you have called, many have Skyped, some have Skyped, some have emailed. But I just want to tell you how much it really means to me to have the encouragement. I've faced something that I have never faced before in my life, and tell you the truth, never intend to face again. But the stroke that I had, which I don't know if it caused the aneurysm or the aneurysm caused the stroke. Either way, it's something that I am praising God I am done with. And I am still working my way through. I'm sitting in the kitchen, actually our little dining room area today, rather than the office, because the wheelchair I'm in won't really go through the office because of everything we've got in there. But anyway, I just want to encourage you today and let you see me. And so as I've been reading some very interesting things, I want to read it to you the way that it is written. I have the New King James, which takes out all of the these and the thous, and I normally do that anyway. And so, but at the beginning of each of the books, they have a little writing of who wrote it and a little bit about that particular book. So in 2 Thessalonians, Paul is writing to the Thessalonians, and Paul is talking about some false doctrine that's in there. But he makes a statement. I'm going to read it to you the way it is written, and then I want to talk about it. It says, "Therefore, in the midst of persecution, expectation can be high." And that really caught my attention, and I highlighted it in yellow, and I also marked it, underlined it in my Bible. But then in 1 Peter, he talks about the first book of Peter. It says, Peter's writing this, or it's about this book. It says, "Persecution can cause either growth or bitterness in the Christian's life. Response determines the result." And as I was reading those and got to thinking about all of this, I thought, that is really true. We have been through a real test and trial right now. I basically lost all of November and all of December. I went into the hospital November the 7th, and I got out of the hospital December 31st. And there's a lot of things I just do not recall. It's not in my mind. I don't remember Thanksgiving. I slept through Thanksgiving, was in the hospital, slept through Christmas. Our anniversary was really unique. It was in my birthday, which is December 24th. It was just very interesting in that. And then our anniversary, which is December 29th, we had an interesting anniversary dinner. It was hospital food. Now, I don't think I'm going to get away with that. It's okay that I would take her out to dinner when I could drive. But as I've been thinking about these two statements, they've been very powerful statements to me. Even through all of this, my expectation of being completely healed, healthy, and whole can be very high. And I can expect to walk again. I can expect to be normal again. I can expect to have my mind back better than what it was before. And then the other thing there in Peter, which was very, very interesting to me, let me go back to it. I want to read it again. In 2 Peter, the persecution, and I'm going to change the word persecution to, instead of being persecuted, because I'm not being persecuted, I'm having health problems, can cause either growth or bitterness in my life. And here's the most interesting statement. Response determines the result. No matter what you're facing right now, your response to this, to whatever it is, will determine whether you grow or whether you become bitter. And I have determined I am going to grow out of this. I am not going to get bitter. I have no one to get bitter at. I have talked to the doctors. I've talked to therapists. I've talked to nurses. You know, what causes aneurysms? What causes these things to happen? Because if I'm doing something, that I should not be doing, I want to stop it because I don't ever want to go through this again. And they haven't given me one very specific thing that says, well, you should not be eating this or you should be doing this. So, I'm not going to get bitter at these things. I'm just going to determine I'm going to grow from it. And I'm going to respond in faith. Because your mouth, what comes out of our mouths, our response is either faith or it can be, bitterness or resentment. And, I would argue, and that's no other way to say it, but argue with the doctors and with the nurses and the therapists. My daughter came down, and son-in-law, which I deeply appreciate. And tell you the truth, my wife told me, Kay told me, well, do you remember these people being there? Do you remember Jennifer being there? Nope, I have no memory of that. Well, so, I've had to apologize to my daughter for not remembering that they were even there. But she told me something very important. And, it kind of hurt me a little bit, but I needed it. She said, Dad, stop arguing with the doctors and the nurses. They're trying to help you. So I made a decision I was not going to argue with them. Well, that didn't last too long. They kept telling me, you need to understand you're going to be bound to a wheelchair or a walker the rest of your life. And I said, that is not true. I will not be bound to a wheelchair. I will not be bound to a walker. Yes, you will. You don't understand what's going on. What's happened to you? Yes, I do. Well, what happened? Well, I don't know the technicalities of it, but basically I've been told that I had a stroke and an aneurysm and a lot of bleeding on my brain. And, I don't know, let me turn right here. They had to go in and cut me and do some surgery on my brain. And so anyway, I told Jennifer, I said, I'm not arguing except for this. I am not going to agree with them that I will be bound to a wheelchair the rest of my life. I'm not going to do that. And the therapist, came out on a couple of days ago and, said to me, Mr. Martin, we went through some exercises and said, you need to understand the seriousness of what happened to you and you will be bound to a wheelchair. And I said, that is not true. I am not going to be bound to a wheelchair. And, we had this little, what I'm going to call tit-tat argument that I'm going to be bound to a wheelchair. But I refuse to be in agreement with that. I am going to expect that I'm going to walk. In fact, the verses that have come to me is I will be able to walk and not be weary. I will be able to run through a troop and leap over a wall. So I am just saying, no matter what's going on right now in your life, don't let your expectations still be very high. One of the ladies at Kay's office, and you probably can't really read this, I'll try to, it says, God is big enough. Well, what I have said, I've changed that a little bit, and I say my God is big enough. So when anybody tells me all these negative reports, I say to myself, nope, that's not true. My God is big enough, and He has already healed me, and I am going to be able to do these things. There is my expectation. My expectation is very, very high. I am believing that I will come through this better. My memory will be better than it's ever been before. My reflexes will be better than it's ever been before. Everything I've done before, I will be able to do better. That's my expectation. So I just wanted to come to you today just to encourage you, no matter what's going on in your life, keep your expectation high. Keep believing God that things are going to work out good. And we're believing that God's going to turn this around. What the enemy means to destroy me, God's going to turn it around for my good. He gets glory out of it. And, we're still believing for a lot of things. We have no idea what the hospital bill is going to cost. My guess is it's going to be at least $250,000 or more. And, Kay and I basically, except for emergencies, have been very healthy. And we've never really had health insurance. So, we don't know how we're going to pay for it, other than we know God is big enough to take care of it. And so we're just believing God for all kinds of things. And we appreciate what people have already done. If God speaks to anybody to donate to our ministry, to LTI, specifically for the hospital bill, we have an account set up and we put the money into that. And we're believing that, by the time the hospital bill has to be paid, all the money will be there and we'll be able to pay it off. That's our expectation. We are believing God because God is big enough. And I wear this, decided, and I normally don't wear these things, but I decided, what? I'm going to wear this because my God is big enough. And He is going to come through, and it's going to be an amazing thing. Well, we love you. We pray for you every day. I can't tell you that I prayed for you in November. I don't recall a lot of November because they had me so medicated. I slept most of November. I don't really remember Kay coming in very often into the room. I don't remember a whole lot of things, which I think is probably good. But anyway, I do remember this, that I love you. Kay and I are praying for you. We prayed for you this morning. We are lifting you up. We're believing God for you. We are calling things in for you. We're saying God's big enough for you. We're saying that you have more than enough partners, more than enough finances to do what God's called you to do. So be encouraged that no matter what it looks like, your response is going to determine whether you come out in victory or you're going to come out in defeat. And I want to encourage you, respond in victory. Just keep saying God's big enough and have your expectations very high. It's going to be okay. So anyway, I've gone a lot longer than I was ever thinking I would today. I guess because I haven't come to you for a couple of months. But we love you. We appreciate you. We are praying for you. We speak blessings over you. We call you blessed, which means empowered to prosper. So you are empowered to prosper, and you're going to make it. And this year is not over. And God is going to do some awesome things. Or 2000, of course it's not over, it just started. But what you were believing for in 2011, God, don't forget this, because God doesn't forget it. Go back and remember it. Bring it back up. Remind God, hey God, you spoke this to me, and I'm believing you for this. And you will see awesome things happen. And over the next couple of weeks, I'll be talking to you about what God is sharing with me about 2012. I've been reading a lot of things from different people. Year of fulfillment, year of harvest, year of this, year of that. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. God is going to come through. And we're going to see some awesome things in 2012. You are blessed. Your ministry is blessed. You are prosperous. Your ministry is prosperous. You're going to see greater things in 2012 than you ever thought you would ever see all the years combined, because God is He is the restorer, and He is going to restore what the enemy has stolen. And I'm claiming that verse for myself as well. And so anyway, thank you for your prayers for me. Keep praying, because I want to be out of this wheelchair. I want to be out and up and walking around and doing what I used to do. And I believe I will. I'm expecting that to happen. And we're believing that's going to happen this coming week. So anyway, you are blessed, prospering, healthy, successful. You are highly favored. And we love you. We appreciate you. And I will see you next week. Goodbye now.